Imagine waking up every day with a secret so profound, a quiet knowing so vast, that not even the people closest to you could ever fully understand it. It's as though you live in two worlds, the one that everyone else perceives, and the other where your mind continuously dances between what is, what could be, and what should be. Your thoughts, rich with potential and possibility, keep you at the edge of your own existence. But this edge isn't exciting, it's isolating. Because no matter how hard you try, the world responds to you with indifference or misunderstanding, leaving you alone with your profound perceptions. If this resonates with you, if you feel that your inner world often seems like a labyrinth that others cannot navigate, it's because you might be one of them, the intuitive introvert. In this quiet, hidden existence, the world outside feels shallow and distant. While most people focus on immediate, tangible realities, the intuitive introvert sees beyond what is obvious, sensing a deeper truth beneath the surface of everyday life. But the curse of this gift is profound. You might possess an ability to see connections that no one else does, to see the world not as it is, but as it could be. This gift is both a blessing and a burden, for while it allows you to see things with incredible depth, it also isolates you from the reality that others live in. Your reality is not the same as theirs, and yet, the world insists on reducing you to something simpler, forcing you to fit into a mold that was never meant for you. Carl Jung, the great Swiss psychologist, understood this deeply. He saw the intuitive introvert not as someone who merely existed in the world, but as someone who experienced a paradox, a profound inner world that was both a gift and a curse. Jung identified the intuitive introvert as a rare, complex personality type. These individuals don't just think, they perceive. They understand the world through symbols, meanings, and connections that others cannot see. They are drawn not to facts, but to the hidden threads that bind everything together. And yet, because their worldview is so rich and expansive, it is also profoundly isolating. To be an intuitive introvert is to live in a space where the unconscious mind is a constant companion, pulling you into a deeper reality where you are often alone. As Jung warned, without proper understanding and guidance, the intuitive introvert could easily get lost in the vastness of their own perceptions, disconnecting from both the present and from others. This disconnection is not just an intellectual one, it's emotional, spiritual, and psychological. In a world that values external validation, the intuitive introvert looks inward for meaning, creating a chasm between themselves and society. They long for deep, meaningful connections, but the world seems intent on keeping them at arm's length. Conversations feel draining, for they are often too shallow, too superficial. The intuitive introvert craves depth, but the world offers only the surface. And so, they retreat inward, into their vast world of inner perceptions, ideas, and questions that remain unspoken, unshared, and unheard. The curse of the intuitive introvert is not simply that they see more, it's that they must keep it to themselves. It is a curse of silence, of never being able to fully express the richness of what they see. The more they perceive, the more isolated they become. It's like being surrounded by people and yet feeling utterly alone. This experience, while profoundly isolating, is also what makes the intuitive introvert so unique. They live in a world of deep vision, a vision that is misunderstood by the majority of society. And it is this vision, this perception of the world as something far deeper than it appears, that Jung believed could lead to one of the most difficult psychological journeys of all. Jung saw the intuitive introvert's journey as one fraught with challenges, but he didn't see it as a journey of despair. Instead, he believed that the intuitive introvert could transcend the curse of their inner world. He saw in them the potential for transformation, a transformation that would not only free them from their isolation, but would also allow them to bring their unique vision into the world. But first, the intuitive introvert must understand the nature of their curse and how to navigate the delicate balance between their inner world and the outer world. Carl Jung's concept of introverted intuition is at the heart of understanding the intuitive introvert's struggle. These individuals are not merely passive thinkers, they are perceivers, and this perception goes beyond the surface. They don't merely understand facts or data, they interpret symbols, see hidden meanings, and sense connections between events and ideas that others cannot. To the intuitive introvert, the world is a tapestry woven with threads of possibility, threads that most people walk past, never noticing. This gift, however, is not without its price. The intuitive introvert lives in a world that is often too vast, too abstract, and too disconnected from reality for most people to comprehend. Their intuition leads them into realms of thought and feeling that are far removed from the everyday concerns that preoccupy those around them. In this world, concepts are not fixed. They are fluid, changing with each moment of insight. But for those who are not equipped to understand this type of perception, the intuitive introvert's thoughts can seem like distant echoes, beautiful but meaningless. Jung understood this paradox well. He believed that while introverted intuitives possess an extraordinary gift for perceiving the world beyond the obvious, this very gift often becomes a burden. The intuitive introvert is gifted with the ability to see the world in a way that others cannot, often seeing patterns, connections, and possibilities before they unfold in reality. They might sense that something is about to happen, or they might understand the deeper significance of a situation that others dismiss as trivial. But because they see things in such a deep and abstract way, they often feel as though they are speaking a different language, or language that no one else understands. This difference in perception creates a constant tension within the intuitive introvert. On the one hand, they feel compelled to share their insights, to bring their unique vision of the world to others. But on the other hand, they are met with blank stares or dismissals. The world prefers concrete answers, practical solutions, and clear, understandable truths. But the intuitive introvert's world is one of ambiguity and complexity. Their insights are often so abstract, so elusive, that they can't be neatly packaged or easily explained. And so, the intuitive introvert retreats inward, where they can live in the safety of their inner world, even though it leaves them feeling disconnected from the world around them. Jung believed that this disconnection was not only psychologically damaging, but it also had the potential to hinder the intuitive introvert's growth. When they become too absorbed in their inner world, they risk losing touch with the reality that others inhabit. They begin to believe that their internal visions are the only truth, and that the external world, with all its noise and distractions, is somehow lesser. This is the dangerous psychological state Jung referred to as inflation. When the intuitive introvert identifies too strongly with their own perceptions, they risk becoming trapped in a world of their own making, a world that becomes more and more disconnected from the shared reality of others. The dangers of inflation are profound. As the intuitive introvert's inner world becomes more vivid and expansive, they may start to lose the ability to relate to others. Their sense of self becomes intertwined with their perceptions, and they begin to mistake their visions for universal truths. They might become convinced that their insight into the world is not just personal, but universally applicable, into a deep sense of alienation when others fail to recognize the same truths. This sense of alienation can cause immense emotional pain. The intuitive introvert may feel that they are living in a parallel universe, a place where no one can truly understand them or the depth of their perceptions. This internal struggle is a key theme in Jung's work. He believed that the intuitive introvert's journey was not one of escape, but of integration. They must find a way to reconcile their inner world with the outer world, to bridge the gap between their deep, abstract insights and the practical, grounded reality of everyday life. This process of integration is what Jung called individuation, the journey toward becoming the whole, integrated self. It is a journey that requires courage, self-reflection, and the willingness to face the uncomfortable truths of both the inner and outer worlds. The intuitive introvert must learn to ground their insights in the external world. This doesn't mean abandoning their intuitive nature, but rather finding a way to express it in a form that others can understand and engage with. Whether through writing, art, or other forms of creative expression, the intuitive introvert must find a way to transform their inner visions into something tangible. Only then can they begin to feel truly connected to others and to the world around them. But the road to integration is not easy. The intuitive introvert will constantly face the tension between their inner world and the outer world, between the need for deep reflection and the demands of everyday life. It is a delicate balancing act, one that requires both introspection and outward action. And it is a journey that Jung believed could lead to profound transformation, not just for the intuitive introvert, but for society as a whole. The intuitive introvert's life is defined by a paradox. While they possess an extraordinary capacity for deep insight, this very depth also creates a profound isolation. The ability to perceive the world beneath its surface, seeing connections and meanings that others can't, is both a gift and a burden. At times, it can feel as though the intuitive introvert is living in two separate realities, On the one hand, they are acutely aware of the richness of the world around them, sensing its hidden truths. On the other hand, they are often trapped in an isolating bubble, cut off from others who simply cannot understand what they see. This deep vision can be exhilarating. The intuitive introvert often perceives the world in vivid colors, hearing whispers from their subconscious that reveal hidden patterns of life. They have a profound connection to symbols, archetypes, and meanings that seem to float just beneath the surface of daily existence. Yet this very richness of inner life can alienate them from others. Conversations become tedious, not because the introvert does not care, but because the topics being discussed seem superficial compared to the depth they feel inside. They long to discuss ideas, metaphysical questions, and abstract truths, but those around them are more concerned with the practicalities of life, the daily grind, the material concerns, the surface-level interactions. This paradox, the gift of deep perception married to the curse of isolation, is something that Carl Jung understood intimately. He saw that the intuitive introvert's inner world, while a source of strength and potential, could also be a source of disconnection. The world around them is not attuned to their frequency. The insights they possess are so vast and intangible that they often remain unspoken, locked away in the recesses of their mind. The struggle, Jung argued, was not simply in the perception of the world, but in the sharing of that perception with others who might never fully understand it. Jung warned that this isolation could lead to a sense of alienation so profound that the intuitive introvert might begin to doubt their place in the world. They may feel as though they are surrounded by people, yet fundamentally alone, trapped in an inner world that no one else can penetrate. The deeper their perceptions grow, the further they feel removed from the reality that others inhabit. Conversations become draining, not because of a lack of empathy, but because the introvert is constantly sensing what others fail to see, and this dissonance creates a silent chasm between them and the world. The price of this alienation is not just emotional, it is spiritual. As Jung pointed out, the intuitive introvert's extraordinary inner world can, over time, become a prison. When they cannot bridge the gap between their perception and the external world, they risk becoming disconnected not only from others but from themselves. The very gift that gives them insight into the nature of existence can also trap them in a loop of inner contemplation, preventing them from participating in the shared experience of human life. This isolation is particularly painful because the intuitive introvert often senses that others are missing out on the deeper truths that they themselves can see. They feel as though they are walking a path that no one else can follow. Their visions of the world so profound that they cannot find anyone with whom to share them. The loneliness this creates is not just about being physically alone, but about feeling emotionally and intellectually unacknowledged. It's a silent kind of loneliness, one that is not easily understood by others. But the intuitive introvert does not need to remain isolated forever. As Jung suggested, the key to transcending this curse is integration, the process of reconciling their inner vision with the outer world. This is not an easy task, and it requires both courage and humility. The introvert must find ways to bring their internal insights into the realm of the tangible. Whether through writing, art, or other forms of creative expression, they must discover how to give voice to their inner world in a way that others can hear and understand. Only then can they begin to bridge the gap between their own perception and the reality shared by others. Jung believed that when the intuitive introvert learns to translate their inner visions into language and action that others can engage with, they no longer have to feel isolated. In this process of communication, their deep vision is no longer a source of alienation, but a gift to the world. The paradox of depth and isolation begins to shift. The introvert's ability to see beyond the surface becomes a bridge to deeper connection with others, a way of reaching out and sharing the beauty and complexity of their inner world. The struggle for the intuitive introvert is, in essence, the struggle to integrate the profound richness of their inner life with the outer world, to make their visions not just seen but felt by others. This is the key to transforming the curse of isolation into the power of connection. As Carl Jung observed, the intuitive introvert is often at risk of what he termed inflation. This psychological state occurs when the individual's inner world, so rich and vivid with insight, becomes so overwhelming that it overtakes their sense of self. The intuitive introvert, in their search for meaning and truth, may begin to mistake their inner visions for universal reality. The deeper their perception, the more disconnected they may become from the shared experience of the world around them. Inflation is a psychological trap, one in which the intuitive introvert's ego becomes fused with their inner world. They begin to identify too strongly with the profound insights that arise from their unconscious mind. The danger is that, instead of recognizing these insights as personal and subjective, they start to believe that these visions are universally applicable, even absolute truths. This can be a dangerous path. When someone mistakes their internal vision for universal fact, they isolate themselves even further, not just from others, but from the potential for personal growth and evolution. Jung warned that inflation could cause the introvert to lose their ability to function in the external world. They may become so absorbed in their own metaphysical world that they fail to engage with reality in a meaningful way. What started as a gift of deep insight seeing beneath the surface of things can turn into a curse. As the introvert loses sight of the concrete world around them, they may become disconnected from their relationships, their work, and their life's purpose. The individual becomes trapped in their own internal mythology, unable to return to the shared human experience. This state of inflation is particularly dangerous because it leads to a breakdown in the ego. The ego, which serves as the mediator between the inner world and the outer world, becomes distorted. When the intuitive introvert believes that their visions are absolute, they lose the capacity to engage with others in a grounded and meaningful way. Conversations become irrelevant and relationships suffer. The inflated sense of self becomes an impenetrable wall that separates the introvert from those around them, leaving them isolated and increasingly disconnected. But how does this happen? Why do intuitive introverts so often fall into this trap of inflation? The answer lies in their very nature. They are wired to look beneath the surface, to seek deeper meanings in everything. While others focus on what is, the intuitive introvert focuses on what could be. This type of perception doesn't lend itself easily to practicality. It brings inspiration, yes, but it also brings confusion and self-doubt. The introvert may feel torn between their internal calling, the pull to explore deeper meanings, and the practical demands of the external world. They might struggle to communicate their insights, unsure of how to ground them in reality. The conflict between these two worlds can create intense inner turmoil. As the intuitive introvert retreats further into their inner world, they may begin to lose their sense of direction. They may question their place in the world, their role in society, and even their own sanity. This internal unraveling is what Jung referred to as psychic disintegration, a state where meaning becomes chaos and depth becomes suffocating. The introvert may feel like they are drowning in their own thoughts, unable to make sense of the flood of ideas, emotions, and visions that overwhelm them. But Jung believed that this disintegration need not be permanent. It is not a death sentence for the intuitive introvert, but rather a call to action, a call to integrate the inner and outer worlds. The first step is acknowledging the danger of inflation. The introvert must recognize that while their inner visions are profound and meaningful, they are not absolute truths. They must understand that their insights are subjective and personal, not universal and objective. By doing so, they begin the process of grounding their intuition in the reality around them. The process of integration requires humility. The intuitive introvert must learn to live in both worlds, the world of deep perception and the world of practical, everyday reality. They must learn how to translate their insights into forms that others can understand and engage with, while also remaining true to the depth of their inner vision. It is a delicate balancing act, one that requires both introspection and outward expression. Jung's ultimate message was clear. While the intuitive introvert may be prone to inflation, they also have the capacity for healing and transformation. By embracing their gifts and grounding them in the external world, they can navigate the delicate line between inner vision and outer reality. They can integrate their deep insights into their lives in a way that fosters connection, creativity, and growth, rather than isolation and disintegration. Living as an intuitive introvert is a constant balancing act between the extraordinary perception of the world and the overwhelming nature of that very perception. It's not just that these individuals see the world differently, it's that the way they see it is so rich, so layered, that it often becomes too much to handle. The intuitive introvert is acutely aware of every nuance, every unspoken word, every hidden pattern that others overlook. While others are caught in the present, living in the moment, the intuitive introvert is constantly living in multiple dimensions, seeing not just what is, but what could be, what should be, and what might one day be. This heightened sensitivity can be both a gift and a curse. On the one hand, it allows the intuitive introvert to perceive the subtle threads that connect the fabric of life. They are constantly attuned to the invisible forces at play in human interactions, in nature, in the world of ideas. But this constant flow of perception can also become overwhelming. Every interaction, every situation, is felt with greater intensity than most people experience. The introvert doesn't just engage with the world, they absorb it. The emotions, the thoughts, the unspoken currents beneath the surface, they all become part of their internal landscape. The weight of this perception can lead to a sense of emotional and mental overload. It's as though their mind is constantly processing information, interpreting meanings, and making connections that others simply don't see. At times, it can feel like a flood of ideas, each one vying for attention, with no space left to breathe or to rest. In this state, self-doubt begins to creep in. The intuitive introvert may wonder if they are imagining things, if their perceptions are too abstract, too convoluted, too disconnected from the practicalities of life. This confusion leads to a sense of fragmentation, of being too deep, too abstract, too far removed from the tangible world around them. Jung understood this feeling of overwhelm well. He believed that for the intuitive introvert, the sheer depth of their inner world could create a sense of disorientation. The more they perceive, the more they must process, and without grounding, this constant flow of insights can become paralyzing. The introvert may find themselves torn between their inner calling, the pull to explore deeper truths, and the demands of the external world, which often seems shallow, practical, and disconnected from the richness they feel inside. This is where the danger of psychic disintegration lies. The more the intuitive introvert retreats into their inner world, the more disconnected they become from reality. The paradox is that the very sensitivity that allows them to see deeper into the world can also pull them further away from it. They may begin to withdraw from relationships, from opportunities, from the very life they are meant to live. This retreat is often unconscious. The introvert, in their quest for meaning, may begin to disappear, not because they want to, but because they don't know how to ground their insights in the external world. At the same time, there is an ongoing battle. The intuitive introvert might feel torn between the need to express their inner world and the fear that others won't understand. It's not just about sharing their insights, it's about finding a way to translate their perceptions into something that others can engage with, something that can create connection rather than isolation. But doing so is not easy. The language of intuition is symbolic, metaphorical, and abstract. It doesn't fit neatly into the practical language of everyday conversation, where facts and concrete ideas dominate. And so, the intuitive introvert often remains silent, retreating further into their inner world, feeling as though they are speaking a language no one else understands. Jung believed that this retreat was part of the process of individuation, the process by which the intuitive introvert must integrate their inner vision with the outer world. But the first step in this process is to recognize the overwhelming nature of their perception and to acknowledge that this overwhelming flood of ideas, while valuable, must be grounded. They must learn how to navigate the tension between the internal and the external, between the abstract and the concrete. Without this balance, the inner world becomes too much to bear, and the intuitive introvert risks losing touch with both themselves and the world around them. The journey of the intuitive introvert, then, is one of learning to manage the weight of their perception. It is about finding ways to create meaning from the flood of insights, and connecting these insights to the world in a way that fosters both personal growth and connection with others. Jung saw this as the path to healing, the path of integration. It requires both introspection and outward expression, both the courage to dive into the depths of the psyche and the wisdom to ground that journey in reality. This process of grounding is what ultimately allows the intuitive introvert to transform their overwhelming perception into something meaningful, something that can enrich not only their own life, but also the lives of those around them. The paradox of their existence, living in depth while struggling with isolation, begins to shift as they learn to bridge the gap between their inner world and the outer world. This shift is not easy, but it is essential for the intuitive introvert's psychological and spiritual growth. Once the intuitive introvert recognizes the need for grounding, the next challenge is integration, turning insight into action. Jung emphasized that perception without action is incomplete. A rich inner life, no matter how profound, must eventually intersect with reality to achieve wholeness. For the intuitive introvert, This is perhaps the most delicate balancing act, translating the abstract patterns, symbolic insights, and premonitions they sense into practical, tangible steps. The intuitive introvert often struggles with impatience toward the external world. They can see the big picture long before others, and yet the slow, incremental pace of life can feel excruciatingly frustrating. Meetings, mundane tasks, societal conventions, these can feel like obstacles to the visionary mind. Yet Jung argued that mastering these seemingly trivial aspects of life is precisely what allows the intuitive introvert to anchor their profound perceptions in reality. Without this grounding, their insights remain ethereal, and their potential for transformation diminishes. Another challenge is communication. The language of intuition is symbolic, poetic, often non-linear. When the intuitive introvert attempts to articulate their inner visions, others may misunderstand or dismiss them. This leads to further isolation, self-doubt, and the temptation to retreat even deeper into the inner world. Jung believed that learning to translate intuition into actionable and comprehensible forms, whether through art, writing, leadership, or teaching, is essential for psychological balance. Integration also involves embracing uncertainty. The intuitive introvert sees possibilities and outcomes that others cannot. While this grants them remarkable foresight, it also makes them acutely aware of life's unpredictability. The tension between knowing what could happen and what actually occurs can be a source of constant anxiety. Here, Jung emphasized the necessity of accepting life's inherent ambiguity. True mastery for the intuitive introvert is not about controlling outcomes, but about engaging with life fully, armed with insight, yet willing to navigate the unknown. In this sense, the intuitive introvert becomes a bridge between the unseen and the seen, the symbolic and the concrete. They carry the capacity to illuminate hidden patterns, to anticipate potential dangers, and to offer unique solutions. But their effectiveness depends on their ability to act without losing themselves in the flood of perceptions. To move from observation to participation, Jung viewed this movement as essential for individuation, the process of becoming a whole, integrated individual. Finally, integration demands self-compassion. The intuitive introvert's heightened awareness can lead to self-criticism. They feel the weight of life's injustices more keenly, and may judge themselves harshly for perceived failures or inaction. Jung encouraged these individuals to cultivate patience with themselves, to recognize that their path is uniquely demanding. They must honor the depth of their perception, while also setting realistic expectations for engagement with the external world. By learning to ground their insights, communicate effectively, act decisively, and practice self-compassion, the intuitive introvert transforms their overwhelming perception into a profound source of wisdom and strength. They no longer see their sensitivity as a burden, but as a gift that allows them to navigate life with depth, insight, and authenticity. In essence, the journey of the intuitive introvert is the journey of turning vision into life, abstraction into reality, and perception into action, an ongoing dance between the inner and outer worlds, the symbolic and the tangible, the potential and the actual. Through this integration, the intuitive introvert discovers not only the power of their mind, but also the fullness of their humanity. As intuitive introverts continue their journey of self-discovery and integration, they inevitably encounter what Carl Jung referred to as the shadow. The shadow represents the unconscious aspects of the self, those parts of our psyche that we repress, deny, or simply fail to acknowledge. For the intuitive introvert, the shadow is particularly powerful, as their deep introspection often leads them to confront the hidden, darker corners of their personality and perceptions. Jung believed that the shadow is not inherently negative. Rather, it encompasses all the parts of the self that remain outside of conscious awareness. These aspects of the psyche are not inherently bad or evil, but they are often rejected because they are uncomfortable or unsettling. For the intuitive introvert, the shadow is a mirror to the parts of their personality they are reluctant to face, those feelings of inadequacy, loneliness, fear, and self-doubt that arise from their perceived difference from the world. The very depth of their perception can bring them into conflict with their shadow, for they are constantly exploring and discovering truths that others overlook, truths that challenge the way they see themselves. The intuitive introvert's shadow often manifests as an internal voice that undermines their confidence, telling them that their perceptions are too abstract, too strange, too impractical. It may create a sense of inferiority, reinforcing the belief that their inner world is too complex or alien to be understood. Over time, this negative internal dialogue can fuel a sense of failure, particularly if they try to share their inner insights only to be met with dismissal or indifference from others. They may question the value of their visions, doubting whether their deeply felt experiences hold any meaning beyond their own mind. Jung understood that this struggle with the shadow was essential to the process of individuation, the process by which an individual integrates the various facets of their personality to become a whole and authentic self. For the intuitive introvert, confronting the shadow is a pivotal moment in this journey. They must acknowledge the parts of themselves that they have denied or suppressed, including the fears, anxieties, and insecurities that accompany their unique way of perceiving the world. It is through this confrontation that they can begin to heal, grow, and evolve into their truest selves. One of the most challenging aspects of this process is the fear of rejection. Intuitive introverts often feel as though their deep, personal insights are too much for others to handle. Their visions may be seen as impractical, too abstract, or even threatening to those who are more attuned to the external world. The introvert's deepest fear is that by revealing their true selves, by sharing their perceptions, their visions, they will be rejected. This fear creates a cycle of self-protection. They withdraw, hide their true thoughts, and suppress their authentic voice. The more they withdraw, the more they feed the shadow, and the more isolated they become. However, Jung believed that the shadow is not something to be feared or avoided. It is a necessary part of the individuation process, a part of the self that must be embraced in order to achieve psychological wholeness. The shadow represents the repressed aspects of the psyche that, when integrated, allow the intuitive introvert to develop a fuller, more authentic understanding of themselves. By acknowledging the shadow, the intuitive introvert can begin to dissolve the barriers that have kept them from engaging fully with the external world and with others. The integration of the shadow is not easy. It requires the introvert to confront their own insecurities, to face the fears and doubts that have held them back from living authentically, but it also offers a profound opportunity for growth. When the intuitive introvert embraces the shadow, they begin to realize that their depth and complexity are not burdens, they are strengths. They discover that their visions and insights are not weaknesses, but gifts to be shared with the world. The shadow, in its most constructive form, becomes the gateway to deeper self-awareness, emotional resilience, and the ability to connect with others in a more genuine, meaningful way. Jung also emphasized the importance of compassion in this process. The intuitive introvert must learn to be kind to themselves, to offer themselves the same acceptance and understanding that they long to receive from others. This is a key aspect of shadow work, understanding that the parts of themselves they find most uncomfortable or difficult to face are not flaws to be hidden, but aspects of their humanity that deserve recognition and care. By accepting and integrating the shadow, the introvert can begin to dissolve the fears that have kept them in isolation and embrace their uniqueness with pride. Through this process of self-acceptance, the intuitive introvert begins to heal the divide between their inner world and the external world. They realize that their visions, while complex and deeply personal, are not meant to be kept hidden. They are meant to be shared, to be expressed through art, words, relationships, or any form of creation that resonates with them. The shadow no longer holds them back. Instead, it propels them forward, guiding them toward deeper self-expression and connection with others. The challenge for the intuitive introvert is not to escape their shadow, but to learn to work with it, to understand that it is an essential part of their journey toward wholeness. Only by embracing their inner darkness can they truly transform their gifts into sources of light for themselves and others. In doing so, they not only uncover the hidden layers of their own psyche, but also begin to understand the mysteries of the world around them in a more profound and grounded way. For the intuitive introvert, the battle within is relentless. It's not a simple struggle between what is right and what is wrong, or between good and evil. It's a far deeper, more nuanced conflict. It is a battle of perceptions, a war between the internal world of insight and the external world of reality. The intuitive introvert is caught in an ongoing struggle to reconcile their profound visions with the demands of the everyday world, which often feels shallow, rushed, and disconnected from the deeper truths they perceive. Every moment is a tension-filled negotiation between the introvert's desire to retreat into their inner world and the need to engage with others. They often find themselves questioning if anyone truly understands them. Anyone can see what they see, feel what they feel, and understand the complex landscape of their mind. This inner turmoil can be exhausting, The more they dive deep into the currents of their psyche, the more overwhelmed they feel. It's as if they are constantly wading through a sea of thoughts, emotions, and visions that threaten to pull them under, leaving them questioning their stability, their purpose, and even their sanity. The intuitive introvert's mind is like a stormy ocean, filled with unpredictable waves of insight and emotion. These individuals can feel so deeply, so intensely, that at times it becomes paralyzing. They might experience moments of profound clarity, where the universe seems to reveal its hidden truths. But these moments are fleeting. They are often followed by periods of confusion, doubt, and uncertainty. The introvert may wonder if their perceptions are too abstract, too strange, too disconnected from reality to be of any use. They may feel as though they are trapped in a whirlwind of thought and feeling, unable to find solid ground. This battle within is not just psychological, it is spiritual as well. The intuitive introvert is constantly torn between their desire to withdraw into themselves and the call to share their inner visions with the world. They sense that their insights are valuable, that their ability to see beyond the surface of things could bring profound change, but they are also aware of the risk that comes with sharing such deep personal truths. There is the fear of rejection, the fear that others will not understand, that they will be dismissed as odd or irrelevant, or worse, that they will be abandoned for their difference. The introvert's vulnerability is their greatest strength and their greatest weakness. To be truly seen, to be understood at the deepest level, is a powerful desire. But this desire comes with the fear of being misunderstood, or even worse, being dismissed. This fear of rejection is a constant companion, whispering in the introvert's ear, convincing them that their inner world is too complex, too intense, to be shared with others. This internal battle between sharing and protecting themselves creates a rifted divide between their true self and the self they present to the world. Yet, despite this inner turmoil, the battle is not without its purpose. Jung believed that this internal conflict was a necessary part of the individuation process, the journey toward becoming a whole and authentic self. The struggle is not to be avoided, it must be faced. The intuitive introvert must confront the tension between their inner world and the outer world, between their deep insights and the reality they must navigate. This confrontation is where true growth happens. It's in this very battle that the introvert finds their strength. By learning to accept the paradox of their existence, to honor both their need for introspection and their need for connection, they begin to unlock the full potential of their gifts. The tension between these two worlds is not something to resolve, but something to embrace. It is the crucible in which the intuitive introvert's vision is refined. Jung saw this struggle as central to the process of transformation. The intuitive introvert is not meant to stay locked in their own world of perception, nor are they meant to abandon it entirely for the sake of conformity. The journey is one of integration, learning how to navigate both the inner and outer worlds, recognizing that both are necessary for growth. The struggle between the two is not a curse. It is the fire that forges the introvert's identity, transforming their deepest pain into a source of power. The intuitive introvert's ability to see beyond the obvious, to perceive what others cannot, is a gift that can bring light to the darkness, but it requires courage. It requires stepping out of the safety of the inner world and engaging with the external world, even when it feels like a battle. It requires the willingness to face rejection, misunderstanding, and the fear of isolation. But it is only through this battle, this confrontation between the self and the world, that the intuitive introvert can truly embody their purpose and transform their deep vision into a force of change. The battle within may never fully cease, but as the intuitive introvert learns to navigate it, they discover that the struggle itself is a catalyst for transformation. The inner conflict becomes a source of strength, not weakness. It is the very tension that allows them to grow, to evolve, and to finally become the person they were always meant to be. As the intuitive introvert continues on their journey of self-discovery, a profound shift begins to take place. The battle within, the tension between the inner world of deep perception and the outer world of practical reality, begins to dissolve into something more powerful, a source of transformation. The introvert's unique ability to see the world in a way that others cannot becomes not just a gift, but a force for change. The journey of individuation, the process of integrating both the inner and outer worlds, leads the introvert to a place of empowerment, where their vision can truly make an impact. Jung's teachings emphasized that the intuitive introvert, when they have learned to confront their own inner conflicts, can become a transformative force in society. It is not enough for them to simply understand the world. They are called to contribute to it, to help others see the truths that lie beneath the surface. This is where the true power of their vision comes to life. Through their deep introspection and intuitive insight, they can illuminate the hidden patterns, the subtle forces, and the unspoken truths that others often miss. But how does this transformation take shape? For the intuitive introvert, it begins with the willingness to share their inner vision with others. No longer content to remain hidden in their own private world, they learn to communicate their insights in ways that others can understand and engage with. This requires courage. It requires stepping out of the shadows of self-doubt and embracing vulnerability. The intuitive introvert must allow their truth to be seen, not just by themselves, but by the world. Jung believed that this process of sharing one's truth is central to the individuation journey. It is through expression, whether through art, writing, leadership, or any other form of creation, that the introvert's vision is brought into the world. This expression is not about seeking validation or approval from others. It is about honoring their own unique perspective and offering it to the world as a gift. The intuitive introvert, through this act of creation, begins to heal the divide between their inner world and the external world. Their vision, once isolated and misunderstood, becomes a source of connection and transformation. The power of this transformation lies not in the introvert's ability to predict the future or offer clear, practical solutions to every problem. Instead, it lies in their ability to see the world with a depth and clarity that others cannot. Their insights, though often abstract and symbolic, have the power to inspire others to think differently, to question the status quo, and to recognize the deeper truths that govern life. The intuitive introvert becomes a guide, a beacon of light in a world that often operates on the surface, blind to the deeper currents that shape reality. This journey of transformation is not always easy. The intuitive introvert may still face moments of doubt, times when the weight of their inner world becomes overwhelming. But through this process of sharing their vision, they begin to understand the true purpose of their sensitivity. It is not a curse to be hidden away or feared. It is a gift to be nurtured and expressed, a gift that holds the potential to heal, to guide, and to transform the world. Jung saw the intuitive introvert as a crucial figure in the process of societal change. They are not meant to fit into the mainstream, to follow the conventional path. Instead, they are meant to challenge the norms, to offer a new perspective, and to help others see beyond the superficial layers of life. In a world that often values speed, noise, and surface-level solutions, the intuitive introvert brings a necessary depth, deeper understanding of the human experience, the mysteries of the universe, and the complexities of the soul. The transformation that occurs within the intuitive introvert is not just a personal one, it is a societal one as well. By embracing their unique perspective and sharing it with the world, they become a catalyst for change. Their vision, once a source of isolation, becomes a source of connection and healing. They transform their inner world into something tangible and meaningful, something that others can experience and engage with. And in doing so, they begin to fulfill their true purpose, not just for themselves, but for the greater good of society. As the intuitive introvert embraces this transformation, they begin to understand that their journey is not about escaping the world, but engaging with it in a deeper, more meaningful way. They are not meant to remain hidden in the shadows, disconnected from others. They are meant to step into the light, to share their vision, and to contribute to the collective understanding of humanity. Through this process of transformation, the intuitive introvert discovers their true power, not as a passive observer, but as an active participant in the evolution of consciousness. As the intuitive introvert steps further into their journey of self-expression and transformation, they inevitably face challenges. The road to integrating their deep vision with the external world is not always smooth. There will be setbacks, moments of rejection, misunderstanding, or failure. And in a world that often prizes surface-level clarity over depth, these challenges can feel discouraging. The intuitive introvert may question if their insights are worth sharing at all, especially when others fail to see the world through the same lens. Yet, this is where resilience becomes crucial. For the intuitive introvert, building resilience is not about hardening oneself against the world. It is about developing the strength to remain authentic in the face of external pressure. Resilience, in this context, is the ability to continue moving forward even when the path ahead feels uncertain or fraught with obstacles. It is the determination to stay true to one's vision, even when the world seems uninterested or hostile to it. Jung understood the importance of resilience for the intuitive introvert. He knew that the journey of individuation, a journey of deep self-discovery and integration, was not an easy one. It required the individual to face their inner demons, their fears, and their doubts. It demanded the courage to step into the unknown, to embrace uncertainty, and to trust in the process of transformation. For the intuitive introvert, resilience is about learning to trust their inner voice and to persevere through the challenges that come with expressing that voice. Building resilience begins with accepting the reality of vulnerability. The intuitive introvert, by nature, is sensitive not just to the world around them, but to their own emotional and psychological landscape. They feel deeply, and they are often painfully aware of how misunderstood they can be. This sensitivity, however, is not a weakness. It is a source of strength. To be vulnerable is to be open to life's experiences, to allow oneself to be affected by both the joys and the sorrows of the world. It is through this vulnerability that the introvert can find the resilience to keep going, even when they feel as though they are swimming against the current. Resilience also requires a shift in perspective. The intuitive introvert must learn to view challenges as opportunities for growth, not as signs of failure. Rejection, misunderstanding, and setbacks are a natural part of the journey. They are not reflections of the introvert's worth, but tests of their commitment to their vision. Each challenge is an invitation to refine and strengthen their purpose, to learn how to communicate their insights more effectively, and to build deeper connections with those who resonate with their message. One of the key tools for building resilience is self-compassion. The intuitive introvert must learn to be kind to themselves, to recognize that they are on a difficult and unique path, and that setbacks do not diminish their value. Jung believed that self-compassion was essential for healing and growth. By treating themselves with the same kindness and understanding that they would offer to others, the intuitive introvert can build the emotional strength needed to continue their journey. Another important aspect of resilience is connection. The intuitive introvert, though often isolated by their unique way of perceiving the world, must learn to seek out others who understand and support their vision. This does not mean seeking approval or validation, but rather finding those who resonate with their perspective and can offer encouragement, insight, and companionship along the way. Jung emphasized that the process of individuation is not one that must be faced alone. Finding a supportive community, whether through friendships, mentorships, or creative collaborations, can provide the introvert with the emotional sustenance they need to continue moving forward. Through resilience, the intuitive introvert learns to navigate the complexities of their journey without losing themselves in the process. They develop the inner strength to persevere, even when faced with rejection or misunderstanding. They learn to trust their vision, to believe in its worth, and to share it with the world, regardless of the external obstacles they face. This resilience is not born from sheer willpower alone, but from a deep understanding of their own value, their purpose, and the importance of their unique perspective. Jung's ultimate message for the intuitive introvert was that their path, though challenging, was not only meaningful but necessary. Their vision, though often difficult to share and even harder to understand, is a gift to the world. And it is through the process of building resilience that they can transform their unique insights into a force for personal and societal change. Resilience, then, is not just about enduring hardship. It is about embracing the struggle as part of the journey toward becoming one's truest self. In the end, the intuitive introvert's resilience allows them to turn their deepest vulnerabilities into their greatest strengths. By learning to embrace their inner world, confront their fears, and continue sharing their vision despite the challenges, they step into their full potential. They realize that the world needs their depth, their insight, and their unique perspective. And through this understanding, they find the strength to persist, transforming their vision from a private, hidden treasure into a beacon of light that can guide others toward a deeper understanding of life, of themselves, and of the world around them. As the intuitive introvert continues to grow in resilience and self-understanding, they begin to realize the profound potential of their unique vision. They no longer see their deep insights as burdens to be hidden away, but as powerful tools for change. The journey of self-discovery, of integrating their inner world with the outer world, becomes a catalyst for transformation, not just in their own life, but in the lives of others and in the broader world. Jung believed that the process of individuation, the journey toward becoming a whole and authentic self, was not an individual pursuit, but one that had the power to impact society. The intuitive introvert's unique vision, though often difficult to communicate, holds the potential to challenge conventional thinking, to illuminate hidden truths, and to inspire profound shifts in consciousness. But for this potential to be realized, the introvert must embrace their authenticity, without apology, without fear, and without the desire to conform to the expectations of others. Authenticity is the key to creating lasting change. When the intuitive introvert fully accepts their own uniqueness, they begin to see their inner vision not as an isolated experience, but as a gift to be shared with the world. This authenticity is not about presenting a perfect, polished version of themselves. It is about being true to their deepest self, expressing their truth in a way that resonates with others, and using their insights to spark transformation. It is the willingness to be vulnerable, to step into the world as they are, without hiding behind masks or facades. Through authenticity, the intuitive introvert becomes a powerful force for change. Their insights, often overlooked or dismissed by the mainstream, have the potential to challenge societal norms, to question the status quo, and to offer new perspectives on how to live, think, and relate to one another. This is the transformative power of authenticity. It not only allows the introvert to fully express themselves, but it also empowers them to contribute to the evolution of consciousness. Their vision, once isolated in their inner world, now becomes a beacon for others to follow. But creating lasting change is not without its challenges. The world often resists new ideas, particularly those that challenge deeply ingrained beliefs and systems. The intuitive introvert may face opposition, misunderstanding, and rejection as they share their vision. This is where the resilience they have cultivated becomes crucial. It is through resilience that the introvert can continue to persevere, even in the face of resistance. They must learn to trust in their vision, to believe in its value, and to remain steadfast in their commitment to authenticity, even when the world pushes back. Jung understood that the process of transformation, both personal and societal, was not instantaneous. It required time, patience, and unwavering belief in one's purpose. The intuitive introvert must be willing to face challenges, to endure setbacks, and to keep moving forward, even when the path ahead seems unclear. But through their authenticity, they create ripples of change that can eventually lead to a profound shift in consciousness. The intuitive introvert's journey is not just about personal growth, it is about using that growth to contribute to the greater good. By embracing their authenticity, they become agents of transformation, helping to shift the collective consciousness toward deeper understanding, compassion, and connection. They show the world that it is possible to live with depth, to perceive the unseen, and to transform that perception into action. Through their example, others are inspired to embrace their own authenticity and embark on their own journey of self-discovery and transformation. Moreover, the intuitive introvert's authenticity helps to create spaces where others can also be their true selves. They are not just changing the world with their vision, they are creating a space for others to express their own unique perspectives. This is the beauty of authenticity. It is not a solitary pursuit, but one that creates community. As the introvert embraces their true self, they encourage others to do the same, fostering an environment where authenticity is celebrated and new ideas can flourish. Jung saw the role of the intuitive introvert as pivotal in the larger transformation of society. The introvert is not meant to fit into the existing structure, but to challenge it, to offer a new way of seeing and being. Through their vision, they help to break down the walls that separate people, ideas, and cultures, creating a more unified, interconnected world. They become leaders, not through external power or influence, but through their ability to inspire others with their authenticity and insight. In the end, the intuitive introvert's journey of authenticity and transformation is a testament to the power of the individual to create lasting change. By embracing their unique vision and sharing it with the world, they not only transform their own life, but also contribute to the evolution of society as a whole. They remind us all that the world needs more than conformity. It needs visionaries who are willing to see beyond the surface and speak their truth, no matter how uncomfortable or unfamiliar that truth may be. Through authenticity, the intuitive introvert not only finds their own path to fulfillment, but also helps to light the way for others to follow. They become a beacon of hope, a symbol of what is possible. When we choose to live in alignment with our deepest truth, the world, though resistant at times, will eventually recognize the transformative power of authenticity and the deep vision that the intuitive introvert offers. And in doing so, the introvert's unique perspective will change the world for the better. As the intuitive introvert embraces their authenticity, they naturally step into a role that, although often unrecognized or misunderstood, holds immense power, becoming a visionary and a catalyst for change. This role is not about grand gestures or public acclaim. It is about quietly, but profoundly, transforming the world around them through their unique insights. The intuitive introvert is not meant to follow the established paths, but to carve out new ones, showing others how to live with depth, purpose, and authenticity. Carl Jung believed that the most profound transformations in society often come from those who are not afraid to be different. It is through embracing their individuality and their visionary qualities that the persuasive introvert can contribute to a larger collective evolution. Their journey, although inwardly intense, has a ripple effect on the world. By embracing their uniqueness, they set a powerful example for others, demonstrating that change does not always come from loud voices or dramatic actions. Often, it is the quiet revolutionaries, the ones who live by their own vision and authenticity, who ultimately shift the course of history. For the intuitive introvert, embracing this role requires a shift in mindset. They must recognize that their insights, though often intangible or difficult to express, have immense value. The intuitive introvert's vision is not just a personal gift, it is a tool for transformation. It has the power to open minds, challenge assumptions, and inspire others to think deeply about their own lives and the world around them. They are not merely passive observers of life, but active participants in the ongoing evolution of human consciousness. One of the most profound ways the intuitive introvert can contribute is through creative expression. Whether through writing, art, music, or another medium, the introvert's creations offer a way to translate their internal visions into something that others can experience and connect with. Through creative acts, the intuitive introvert bridges the gap between their internal world and the external world. Their work becomes a way for others to see what they see, to feel what they feel, and to understand the deeper truths they have uncovered. Jung understood that creativity is a vital tool for the intuitive introvert's journey of individuation. It is through creation that they make the unconscious conscious, transforming their internal world into something tangible and meaningful. For the intuitive introvert, creative expression becomes not just an outlet for their insights, but a means of connecting with others on a deeper level. Their work can spark transformation in others, offering a glimpse into the unseen patterns and truths that govern the world. In this way, the intuitive introvert becomes a visionary who not only transforms their own life, but inspires others to do the same. However, to fully embrace this role, the intuitive introvert must overcome the fear of rejection. It is common for them to feel that their ideas and creations will be misunderstood, dismissed, or ridiculed. They may doubt whether their vision has any value beyond their own mind. Yet Jung believed that true creativity requires stepping into vulnerability. The intuitive introvert must be willing to take risks, to share their vision even when it feels like no one will understand it. The act of creation, of putting their inner world into the external world, is itself an act of courage. By doing so, they not only heal themselves, but also offer a gift to the world, something unique, something that could spark a shift in consciousness. The intuitive introvert's role as a catalyst for change extends beyond the personal sphere. While their journey may begin as an inward process of self-discovery, it ultimately has a societal impact. The insights they uncover, the truths they perceive, are not only relevant to their own growth, but to the collective evolution of society. Jung believed that the role of the visionary was to bring about a higher understanding of humanity, to challenge the established norms, and to inspire others to question the world as it is. The intuitive introvert, through their authenticity and vision, has the power to illuminate what is hidden, to reveal the deeper patterns that shape our lives, and to help others see the world in a new light. By embracing their role as a visionary and catalyst, the intuitive introvert does not just live for themselves, they live for the greater good. They become a beacon of possibility, showing others that it is possible to live with depth and purpose in a world that often values superficiality and conformity. The introvert's journey, though solitary at times, is ultimately one of connection and contribution. As they share their vision, they create space for others to do the same. In this way, they become part of a larger movement toward deeper understanding and transformation, not just for themselves, but for society as a whole. Ultimately, the intuitive introvert's role as a visionary and catalyst is not about seeking fame or recognition. It is about living authentically, expressing their truth, and using their unique insights to contribute to the collective awakening. Through their deep perception, creative expression, and willingness to embrace vulnerability, they pave the way for others to follow. In doing so, they become a force for change, a quiet revolution that ripples outward, transforming not only their own life, but the world around them. Jung's work offers us a profound reminder. The most transformative individuals are often those who are willing to embrace their inner vision and share it with the world, regardless of the challenges. The intuitive introvert, when fully embracing their role as a visionary, has the potential to change the world in ways that are far more profound than we often realize. By living authentically and courageously, they show us all that true transformation begins within, and that it is through embracing our unique selves that we can begin to change the world. The journey of the intuitive introvert, though long and complex, leads to a moment of profound self-realization, a moment when they fully embrace their deepest truths and step into their true power. This moment is not one of finality, but of integration. The process of individuation, as Carl Jung outlined, is not a destination, but a continuous unfolding of the self. It is the realization that the inner journey, once a path of isolation and self-doubt, has led them to a place where they can stand fully in their authenticity, offering their unique insights and contributions to the world with confidence and clarity. For the intuitive introvert, self-actualization means becoming comfortable with their vision. It means no longer questioning the validity of their perceptions or fearing that others won't understand. The fears of rejection, misunderstanding, and failure still exist, but they no longer hold the same power. Instead of hiding their insights, they begin to share them freely, understanding that their uniqueness is a gift to be offered, not a burden to carry alone. Jung believed that self-actualization is the process of becoming one's fullest self, the self that is both grounded in the external world and deeply connected to the inner realm of the unconscious. For the intuitive introvert, this means learning to bring their internal insights into the world in a way that resonates with others. It is the ability to express what they see and feel, to offer their unique perspective in a way that can inspire, heal, and transform those around them. This final stage of the journey requires courage. It demands that the introvert embrace their full potential, even when it feels like a leap into the unknown. But Jung believed that it is only by fully embracing the totality of the self, both the light and the shadow, that true transformation can occur. The intuitive introvert must be willing to step into their power, to embrace their vision, and to live in alignment with their deepest truth. For many intuitive introverts, this moment of self-actualization is marked by a sense of peace. They come to understand that their insights, though often misunderstood or dismissed by others, are valuable. They realize that the world does not need them to conform. It needs them to be exactly who they are. In embracing their uniqueness, the introvert finds a sense of belonging, not in fitting into the mold of society, but in stepping into their own identity and contributing their vision to the world. At this stage, the intuitive introvert has the potential to become a beacon of change, not through external power or fame, but through their ability to inspire others with their authenticity. By living fully in their truth, they show others that it is possible to be deeply attuned to the inner world while still engaging with the outer world in a meaningful way. They create a space for others to do the same, fostering a culture of introspection, authenticity, and self-expression. This final step toward self-actualization is also about acceptance. The intuitive introvert must accept that their journey may never be fully understood by everyone. There will always be those who cannot see what they see, who will dismiss their insights as too abstract or impractical. But this is no longer a source of pain. The intuitive introvert understands that their path is their own, and that their value does not depend on the approval or understanding of others. Instead, their worth is rooted in their ability to live authentically, to embrace their unique vision, and to share it with the world in a way that is true to themselves. The intuitive introvert, in reaching this stage of self-actualization, has unlocked the full potential of their inner vision. They no longer feel isolated or disconnected from the world around them. Instead, they have become a part of it, offering their deep insights and perspectives in a way that enriches the collective experience. Their vision is no longer confined to the inner world. It has transformed into a force for change, a source of healing, and a call for others to awaken to their own truth. In embracing their full potential, the intuitive introvert becomes a catalyst for transformation. They have learned to integrate their inner vision with the external world, to bring their insights into tangible form, and to share them in ways that resonate with others. This is the true power of self-actualization, the ability to live fully in alignment with one's deepest truth and to offer that truth to the world. Jung's teachings remind us that individuation is a lifelong process, one that requires continual growth, self-reflection, and the courage to face both the light and the darkness within. For the intuitive introvert, this journey is both a personal and collective one. By embracing their unique vision and stepping into their power, they not only transform themselves, but also contribute to the transformation of the world around them. Their authenticity becomes a source of inspiration, a guiding light for others who are also seeking to awaken to their own truth. The final steps toward self-actualization are not an end, but a beginning a new chapter in the introvert's journey. By embracing their fullest self, they step into their true power as visionaries, healers, and catalysts for change. And in doing so, they create lasting transformation, not just for themselves, but for the world. In a world that increasingly prizes speed, convenience, and surface-level clarity, the intuitive introvert's deep vision often feels like a rare and precious commodity, a gift that is frequently overlooked or misunderstood. Yet, it is precisely in this world of noise and distraction that the value of deep vision becomes most apparent. The intuitive introvert, with their ability to see beneath the surface, is uniquely equipped to navigate the complexities of the modern world in a way that others simply cannot. While society moves at a frenetic pace, fixated on the immediate and the visible, the intuitive introvert slows down, looks deeper, and sees the patterns, connections, and truths that others miss. Jung understood the significance of this deeper perception. In a world that often feels detached from meaning, where many people are caught up in the mundane and the material, the intuitive introvert's ability to sense what is hidden, whether it be the underlying motivations behind human behavior, the subtle shifts in the collective consciousness, or the deeper truths of existence, holds the potential to bring much-needed depth to society. It is this depth that is increasingly needed in a world that often operates on superficial assumptions, quick judgments, and instant gratification. However, the challenge for the intuitive introvert lies not just in seeing these deeper truths, but in sharing them with others. It is easy to retreat into the safety of one's inner world, where the richness of perception can be fully embraced without the risk of misunderstanding. But the true power of deep vision is realized only when it is brought into the external world, where it can inspire change, provoke thought, and create connection. The intuitive introvert is called to step beyond the comfort of their inner world and share their insights, not just for personal fulfillment, but for the greater good. This is where the concept of individuation, so central to Jung's work, comes into play. Individuation is the process by which a person becomes their truest self, integrating both their conscious and unconscious aspects, and bringing their unique gifts into the world. For the intuitive introvert, this process requires them to confront the tension between their inner vision and the outer world, to reconcile the abstract with the concrete, and to find ways to express their deep insights in forms that others can understand and engage with. The intuitive introvert is not meant to fit into the world's expectations or follow the traditional paths. They are meant to offer something different, to see what others cannot see, and to share that vision in a way that challenges and transforms. This is not an easy task. It requires courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to be misunderstood. But the deep vision that the introvert carries within them is not a curse. It is a gift to be shared, a light that has the power to guide others through the darkness of ignorance, confusion, and superficiality. In a world that often values speed over depth, the intuitive introvert's role is more important than ever. They are the ones who can offer a new perspective on the challenges facing society, whether those challenges are personal, social, or spiritual. They are the ones who can point out the patterns that others fail to see, challenge the assumptions that go unexamined, and remind the world of the deeper truths that have been forgotten or ignored. Through their vision, the intuitive introvert has the power to create lasting change, not through force or external influence, but through the quiet power of insight, creativity, and authenticity. This is the transformative power of deep vision in a surface-level world. It is a power that comes not from conforming to societal expectations, but from embracing the unique gifts that the introvert brings to the table. By fully embracing their vision, the intuitive introvert not only enriches their own life, but also contributes to the collective awakening of society. They show us all that it is possible to live deeply, to see beyond the surface, and to create a world that values authenticity, depth, and meaning. Ultimately, the intuitive introvert's journey is one of finding the courage to share their deepest truths with the world, even when it feels risky or uncomfortable. By doing so, they create space for others to do the same, fostering a culture of introspection, authenticity, and self-expression. In a world that often feels disconnected, their vision is a reminder that the answers to life's most profound questions are not found on the surface, but in the depths of our own consciousness. The intuitive introvert, in embracing their role as a visionary, not only transforms their own life, but also paves the way for others to awaken to their own deeper truths. Jung's work reminds us that transformation, both personal and societal, begins with the willingness to see beyond the obvious, to explore the depths of our own consciousness, and to bring those insights into the world. The intuitive introvert's vision, though unique and often misunderstood, holds the potential to change the world in ways that are far more profound than we often realize. By embracing their deep vision and sharing it with others, the intuitive introvert becomes a catalyst for change, helping to shift the collective consciousness toward a deeper, more meaningful understanding of life. As the intuitive introvert reaches the culmination of their journey towards self-actualization, they begin to understand that their deep vision, though often perceived as a challenge, is ultimately a profound gift. It is a gift that can reshape not only their own life, but also the lives of others. The journey has not been one of ease. It has been fraught with challenges, self-doubt, and moments of isolation. But through resilience, self-compassion, and the courage to embrace authenticity, the intuitive introvert emerges with a clearer understanding of their role in the world. The world needs visionaries, those who can see beyond the immediate and the obvious, those who can perceive the deeper patterns that govern human life and existence. Yet the intuitive introvert's role is not always easy to define. In a world that values noise, speed, and surface-level clarity, their ability to perceive deeper truths can feel alienating. But, as Jung believed, these unique insights are not meant to be hidden away. Instead, they are meant to be shared, to inspire, and to create lasting change. In the real world, the intuitive introvert's journey towards self-actualization is far from theoretical. It's practical. The lessons learned on the path to self-realization, courage, resilience, and authenticity are not abstract concepts but tools that can be applied to everyday life. How does the introvert take their deep vision and turn it into a transformative force? It starts by making the internal external. This means finding ways to express one's insights, whether through writing, art, leadership, or other creative acts. The introvert's insights, though often difficult to communicate, have the potential to spark transformation in others. Through their expression, they not only share their own unique vision, but offer others a new way of seeing the world. One of the key ways the intuitive introvert can apply their journey in the real world is by creating spaces where others can also share their truth. This can be done in a variety of ways through creative collaborations, community-building efforts, or simply by leading by example. The introvert's authenticity becomes a beacon for others to follow. When the introvert steps fully into their power, they create an environment where vulnerability is welcomed and deeper conversations can flourish. In terms of practical application, the intuitive introvert must first embrace their role as a creator. Whether they choose to write, paint, teach, or build something new, their creative process is a direct reflection of their inner vision. By committing to their art, their expression, or their cause, the introvert engages directly with the world. While it can be easy to feel discouraged by the lack of immediate recognition, the introvert must remember that their contribution is valuable simply because it is authentic. Change does not always come in grand gestures. Sometimes, it comes in quiet acts of expression, persistence, and commitment to one's truth. Another real-world application of the intuitive introvert's journey is in relationships. Their deep introspection and rich inner world can sometimes lead to isolation, but the journey toward self-actualization teaches them how to build bridges between their inner and outer worlds. The introvert must learn to express their deepest truths in ways that connect, not isolate. This requires vulnerability, sharing their vision, insights, and emotions with others in a way that invites connection and fosters understanding. By doing so, the intuitive introvert deepens their relationships, enriching both their own lives and the lives of those they interact with. Jung believed that the intuitive introvert's potential for transformation was not only personal but also societal. By embracing their authenticity, they contribute to the collective evolution of human consciousness. The introvert's insights have the potential to challenge established norms, spark new ideas, and inspire others to think more deeply about the world around them. In a society that often values conformity and quick fixes, the intuitive introvert offers an alternative, a path of introspection, depth, and authenticity. However, this contribution is not without its challenges. The world may not always recognize or understand the introvert's unique perspective, and the introvert may still face rejection or misunderstanding. But through the lessons learned along their journey, resilience, self-compassion, and the courage to stay true to their vision, they can overcome these challenges. The real-world application of their journey is about not giving up in the face of adversity. It is about staying committed to their path, trusting in their vision, and continuing to share their truth, even when it feels like no one is listening. Ultimately, the journey of the intuitive introvert is about becoming a true visionary, a leader who offers a new way of seeing and being in the world. This vision does not need to be dramatic or world-changing in the traditional sense. It simply needs to be authentic. By living in alignment with their deepest truths, the intuitive introvert transforms not only themselves, but also the world around them. Their quiet strength, their ability to see the unseen, and their commitment to authenticity become the forces that inspire change. Through the intuitive introvert becomes more than just an observer. They become a creator, a transformer, and a guide. By embracing their unique gifts and offering them to the world with confidence, they can create lasting change that ripples outward, affecting everyone they encounter. The introvert's journey is not just about personal fulfillment. It is about contributing to the greater good by sharing their depth, their insights, and their vision with the world. This final reflection on the intuitive introvert's journey serves as a reminder that deep vision, though often undervalued, holds the power to change the world. It is through authenticity, resilience, and the willingness to share their truth that the introvert can step into their full potential and contribute to a society in need of depth, meaning, and transformation. The world may not always understand, but by staying true to themselves, the intuitive introvert can inspire change, create connection, and ultimately leave a legacy of authenticity and transformation.